now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show brings you famous celebrities and amazing people from all over the world. Listen online at themikewagnershow.com and on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And watch the interview on YouTube. So sit back and relax and enjoy the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all you need. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and Apple. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device and subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. We're here with a wonderful gentleman from the New Jersey area. He's a former police sergeant turned country singer. He's now in Nashville, Tennessee. He's been influenced by Garth Brooks, Freddie Mercury, Elvis, and Tim McGraw. And I'm sure he'll throw in some other artists as well, too. He's got some singles out right now, which he doesn't have an album yet, but he's currently working on it right now. He's got Having a Good Time, Share the Morning Light, I See Trouble Coming, This Is the One, and more. And, of course, he'd share the stage with numerous artists. We'll get to that. But right now, live, ladies and gentlemen, from Nashville, Tennessee, and singing the blues away. And he's chasing off some frogs right now as we speak. But then when we have him on next time, he'll definitely get the frogs out and pull out the six string. Ladies and gentlemen, live from Nashville, Tennessee, the Music City, the Music Man himself, Scott DeCarlo. Scott, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for having me. I'm honored.
Hey, no problem. So you've been in New Jersey for quite some time. You're a former police sergeant turned country singer. You're now in Nashville, Tennessee. You've been influenced by such pop artists like Garth Brooks, Freddie Mercury, Elvis, Tim McGraw. You got some singles out. You share the stage with Lee Brice, Rodney Atkins, McCreary, and more. You got some singles out, and you've got some works as well, too. And an interesting story how you went from a police sergeant to being a country singer. But first of all, just tell us how it got started.
How music got started?
Yes. Or how you got started, I should say.
I guess I got started with music at an early age. I knew at an early age that that's what I wanted to do. But I really didn't start pursuing it till I was a bit older. It was always an itch for me. I was always writing things, and I was in high school and stuff. And I guess I started playing out about 15 years ago, and, was told what I was doing was really cool, but I was trying to be real rock and roll, and it wasn't really happening for me rock and roll wise. And the producers and stuff that I was working with, they basically said, hey, look, man, this stuff is real country, and you should probably pursue the country music genre instead of, trying to be something that you're not. Just naturally you're in the country market. And so that's how I ended up going to Nashville after meeting a friend, a fellow who became a friend from Texas who lived in Nashville at the time, was a songwriter. And I went there and started co-writing with him in 2008.
Mm-hmm. And also, too, with you being in New Jersey, how'd you get influenced by country?
Well, like I said, I wasn't super influenced by country. I was kind of pointed in that direction, but I loved country. I was fortunate enough, way back when I got to see Garth Brooks in the park, Central Park in New York. I was introduced to Tim McGraw, at an early age, the Indian Outlaw record, and, Alan Jackson, and, some really cool guys that are still doing it today, but back then it was just this really great sound that I fell in love with.
That's amazing, too. And he also worked as a police sergeant as well, too. So tell us how you got in the police force.
Well, that's actually a pretty funny story. I got a friend of mine who we're college age, I guess, and we all kind of shared a house and we all paid the rent together and whatnot. And one of my buddies come home one day and he said, "Hey, check out this pamphlet. Let's let's become cops."
Oh my goodness.
and I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's like $25. You got to take a test and you become a cop. It's got great security and benefits." And I said, "You know what?" I said, "We got a few problems. I hate tests. I don't have $25, and I don't like cops." But ironically, I ended up taking that test, and to this day, he's not a cop. He never actually did become one, but I spent quite a few years doing it.
That's amazing too, and of course, you also worked your way to being a police sergeant as well too. And what are some of the interesting stories that you had when it comes to like say being involved in arrests, being involved in crimes, or some interesting police stories, and maybe just just a few tragedies. And I was going to ask you another question, get to a minute, but what are some of the interesting stories you had that highlight your police career?
That highlight my police career. I guess the most interesting stuff when it comes to highlighting, delivering babies is pretty interesting. Those would be highlights because those are things, they prepare you for while you're in the police academy, but they never actually prepare you for, if that makes sense. So, that's probably a highlight. Helping others, you get to do that every day, and I don't have any crazy stories for you, but seeing as it looks like you're a Green Bay fan at your things there. But
that's part of my studio. I'm a mix of everything, as you could tell.
Okay, so I've got a story that I tell people that excuse me, that I meet. I worked in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and it's around the Meadowlands. So around the Meadowlands, when I started my job, I was basically at the beginning of the football season asked by one of the captains, to choose a team. That basically everybody on the job there chose a team and whatnot. I didn't really know how to go about choosing a team because I grew up a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Interesting.
Most of my family were Giants fans. I had always just had an affinity for the Cowboys. So the Jets and Giants play in East Rutherford. So, the captain said, "Hey, choose a team." So I asked him if he would allow me to choose the team at the end of the season. And he thought that was a bit weird, but I had my reasons. So at the end of the season, he came and he said, hey kid, what team are you choosing and why? And I said, okay, I choose the Jets. And he said, well, why is that? And I said, everybody that we dealt with this year on the Giants, anytime you arrested them or wrote them a ticket or, you had to deal with them, in a negative way, they were always whining, "Oh, I didn't do it, kind of thing." And, any Jets fan that you had to deal with, they immediately just threw their arms up and said, "Yeah, I did it. Take me away." It was just a completely different attitude. They were completely different.
Do you think it's because Jets fans take me away? They said they're tired of the Jets losing. Could that be it?
That's possible. I didn't think of it that way. I thought of it more as, these guys whine, these guys don't.
I'm going to have to keep that in mind when I deal with Giants and Jets fans. It's like, no, I want to stay. I want to see Eli or Daniel. And Jets fans like, no, we're getting blowout. Get me out of here. I want to do something else. Sam Darnold, no Sam Darnold. Right. And I was going to ask you, too, since we're on the subject of football, and how do you think the Giants and Jets are going to do this season?
To be honest with you, I don't think the Jets are going to do much this year. Hopefully they'll do more next year. But that seems to be their motto. And, maybe the Giants will surprise everybody. I don't think I think the Dallas Cowboys, even though they're my team, I think they're a bit overrated right now. I think the Giants, if they come together, they could probably, turn things around and take that division.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think of Daniel Jones as a quarterback?
I haven't really been able to watch him except for a few downs last week. He looks really good. I think in some time he could be great.
Mm-hmm. It sounds amazing, too. I've watched Daniel Jones for a little bit. Seems better than Eli Manning. And, of course, you can imagine Giant fans. You can sing, "You're cheating hard, and I'm going to rest you." Good way of getting the country music. So yeah. We'll get to a couple of things in just a minute. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition way. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, and also on iTunes, Google Play, and Apple. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device and subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. We're here with New Jersey native Scott DeCarlo, who's now in Nashville, Tennessee. Former police sergeant turned country singer, influenced by Garth Brooks, Freddie Mercury, Elvis, and Tim McGraw as well, too. Before we get to some of your singles, and you talked about a little bit about the police officer and being in New Jersey, and how involved were you in 9/11?
I wasn't directly involved, obviously, but I definitely got called in that day to assist with some traffic things that had been that needed some attention, so the whole department was on a recall that day. But we're about 7-8 miles away from Manhattan.
Mm-hmm. And also, what were some of the thoughts as well too? When you look back on 9/11,
some of my thoughts.
Yes, correct. Being indirectly involved and having seen it happen 7-8 miles away.
Oh, it was a terrible day. It was tragic on so many levels. I don't think there's any other word but just, sorrow and tragedy.
Mm-hmm. And of course, too, that you also write some of your music, being influenced, being in New Jersey and some of your life experiences. You also have a couple of songs called Having a Good Time and Share the Morning Light. And you can just tell us about some of that. Well,
Having a Good Time was my first single. And it really... It was a wonderful thing to release, a first single. I never thought that dream would come true, but it was a great feeling. Here we are a few years later, and Share the Morning Light came about. A good friend of mine, Michael Schneider, who lives in Indianapolis area, called me up and said, "Hey man, I got this song idea, and I want you to, come on and give me a hand writing it." And so I went out there and we penned it out, and it was a song that we were going to pitch, but it really, when I threw the demo vocal on it, it really just felt like a great song, and we decided that I was going to release it. So it's been taking up some good traction.
That was amazing too. And how many hits has it gotten so far on YouTube and social media?
To be honest, I haven't looked. The video is not out yet. The video is going to be coming out in a few weeks for the song. I know it's getting a lot of streams on Spotify, and the way iTunes and Amazon, the way they all work in collection data is a 2-month backlog process. So I'm coming on that 2-month process at the end of this month. Mm-hmm. So I'll have better numbers by then.
That was amazing, too. We're looking forward to it. You also have some songs called This Is the One, Bonfire, and Lipstick on My Window. I'm amused on that one. You can just tell us all about those.
Lipstick on My Window is a song about a young couple who basically, the young lady is a little bit wild, and she decides to take her lipstick and write "I love you" on the inside of the car window. Mm-hmm. So you'll have to listen to it and all, but it's a fun song.
And you also share the stage with Lee Brice, Chase Rice, Chris Young, and just tell us all about that. And who else have you shared the stage with, and what's it like?
There were so many, just a bunch of great artists, Chris Jansen and Rodney Atkins included. It's always great to see the headline artist after you perform, like you're warming the stage for them, you're warming the crowd, and it's electrifying. And then when you get to see them perform, you see what you can aspire towards. It's a great feeling. I can't really describe any more than it's euphoric.
As something as well too. And what draws your inspiration into writing most of the lyrics?
Inspiration comes from so many different places. It comes from life experience. It's come from dreaming, daydreaming, friends talking. Somebody walking by could just potentially say something. Go, hey, you know what? There's a song in there, and you just you kind of dig into your own emotions, and you try to write it the best way you know how.
And we're also most of the songs as well too. Does it also have to do with your police work or being out in the field too, or?
No, I've never written about any of that. No.
Okay. All right. We're just checking here when we have a couple of questions here. We'll get to that. You're listening to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@SonicWebStudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and Apple. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device and subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. We're here with country singer Scott DeCarlo, who a New Jersey native, now living in Nashville, Tennessee, former police sergeant turned country singer. And you've been influenced by Garth Brooks, Freddie Mercury, Elvis, and Tim McGraw, and just combining that sound. And who are some of your other influences that also influence your sound and growing up?
Growing up, I was completely a rocker. I loved, listening to bands like Journey and ZZ Top or Ted Nugent, Leonard Skinner. Just a complete array of music, a very eclectic taste in music growing up. I don't think music today is what it was remotely years ago. Listening to vinyl and it's changed tremendously in a good way. In some ways a good way. In some ways, you're like, man, that old sound is just so cool. But growing up, I really loved to rock bands like Boston and Van Halen, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And of course, don't forget the Boss as well too, and Bon Jovi, both living in New Jersey.
Yeah, I was not a big Boss fan. I do admire his writing, but I'm not really a fan of his music so much. Bon Jovi stuff I love, quite a bit, very anthemic type of stuff, which it was really what I started thinking I wanted to write, the anthemic stuff. And I guess it's, not really what I'm doing, but I love this stuff.
That is amazing too. And people are wondering, when are you going out on tour to promote your music?
Well, I'm working right now with a couple of promotion companies and talking with some booking agents about the spring of 2020. So soon.
Okay. Well, keep you up to date on this one here. We'd love to have you on before you hit the road too. And also, what do you consider your favorite projects and most challenging?
My favorite project is always the one that I'm working on at that current moment. If there's a a song that I'm in the process of writing. That's my favorite project.
Okay.
And what was the other question?
And what's the most challenging for you?
The most challenging is not to be repetitive. Like a lot of times a lyric will sneak up a couple times on you, in a song here and a song there. And not chasing, not chasing other artists' sounds is challenging too. When you, as a songwriter, if you're trying to, have your songs plugged to major artists, you want to be different, so it's a challenge, to stay within yourself and be yourself, but also to be yourself and be different.
It sounds amazing, too. You have a unique sound, and looking forward to having what you got when we have you on next time with a guitar and everything else. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Biggest influence in my career? I would have to say my career is my life, and my biggest influence in life would be my mother. She raised three boys on her own, basically, and she basically she didn't know the word no, unless she was telling us not to do something. Mm-hmm. She just made everything happen. It's just, there was always food on the table. There was always a roof over the head. And, she would, it's very, that would be the biggest influence on my career in life.
That's amazing too. And what's the best advice you can give to anyone at this point?
To anyone else?
Correct.
Remain steadfast in your goal. Remain true to your own self and your own desires as an artist going forward. There's going to be a lot of people that will come into your life and say, hey, you should do this, or hey, you should do that. And it's really what you want to do for yourself. And you should really know what it is that you want out of the business, because being an artist is a business. It's not as emotional as people would like to make it.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we like to hear some more of your work as well, too, next time we meet. And in the meantime, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website, and how do people contact you? Where can people listen to your music, Scott?
Well, ScottDeCarlo.com is the best source of information from me right now. There's Facebook is Scott DeCarlo Music. Instagram is Scott DeCarlo Music. Twitter is at Scott DeCarlo. YouTube is Scott DeCarlo. And as I said, the website is probably the best place to get information. There's videos up there. There's song information, touring information, which, like I said, will be kicking off in the spring. That's the best way to find me right now.
And we're looking forward to your tour as well, too. Scott, love to have you back on next time. You can sing some of your music. I'd like to thank you very much for your time. Looking forward to having you on again soon. And please do us a favor, keep this up to date.
Thank you so much for having me, Mike. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Listen online at themikewagnershow.com and on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And watch the interview on YouTube. Also, become a sponsor of the program or donate today at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again tomorrow for another episode of The Mike Wagner Show.